Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television. We're coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch. A quick reminder that Global Television is 365 and free to air on Incomsat. Nigeria's military personnel are now expressly prohibited from engaging in homosexuality, lesbianism, bestiality, cross-dressing, and other acts deemed contrary to the ethnic of the armed forces. The personnel are equally barred from body piercing, tattooing, disorderly behavior, and drunkenness on or off duty. Directive is continued and contained in Section 26 of the revised Harmonized Armed Forces Terms and Conditions of Service signed by President Bola Tinubu on December 16, 2024. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has visited the governor of Jigawa State, Umar Namadi, and his wife, Hadiza, over the death of their son, Abdul Wahab. According to a statement by her media aide, Busola Lokukoi, the made by the wife of Vice President Nana Tima and the wife of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Fatima Tajuddin Abbas, said the length of a man's life is the exclusive reserve of God and not anything that anyone can do about it in questioning his timing. Governor Namadi expressed his gratitude to the President Bola Tinubu, who he said personally called him when the incident occurred, just as the First Lady had done. Prayers were offered for the family and the state by the wife of the Vice President, Hajia Nana Shettima. The House of Representatives has taken a step to strengthen anti-corruption fight with the introduction of a bill to encourage whistleblowers to expose corrupt practices, particularly in the public sector. The bill, which proposes a fine of 2 million naira or 2 years imprisonment for disclosing a piece of confidential information provided by a whistleblower, may be considered as lawmakers are set to debate its general principle upon resumption of plenary duty next week. 3 persons are feared dead in a suspected cholera outbreak in the Isodium community of Andoni local government area of Rivers State. It was gathered that the incident was discovered when a team from multinational oil company visited the community to inspect a water rehabilitation project in the area. A former chairman of Andoni local government area, Dr. Gogo Agute Isaiah, who said he was with the oil firm working on the water rehabilitation project in the area, confirmed the incident in a statement on Saturday. Isaiah said 2 of the 3 victims were from the same compound in the Osodium community. President Bola Tinubu congratulated Senator John Azuta Mbata on his election as the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo worldwide. The president's spokesman, Bayo Onanuga, stated that Azuta Mbata, a former senator, represented Rivers East in the Senate from 1999 to 2007. Azuta Mbata was elected as president of the prominent Pan-Igbo Social Cultural Group at its meeting in Enugu on Friday. President Tinubu also congratulated the group on the successful leadership transition and enjoined the new leader to uphold the principle of their predecessors. The Independent National Electoral Commission, that is INEC, is seeking additional funding from the federal government in preparation for the 2027 general elections. The INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, said this while appearing before the Joint Committee on electoral matters at the National Assembly to defend the Commission's 2025 budget proposal, explaining the need for additional funding to support key areas of INEC's work. He listed the areas needing the funding to include the continuous voters registration, CVR, exercise, logistic for off-cycle elections, replacing damaged election materials like bimodal voters accreditation system, that is BVAS, ballot boxes and voting cubicles, as well as repairing INEC offices in local government areas. The Association of Local Government of Nigeria, that is ALGON, and the National Union of Local Government Employees have called on President Bola Tinubu again to ensure that the state governors comply with the Supreme Court's ruling on local government autonomy. The Supreme Court had granted financial autonomy to the local governments, ordering that allocations be paid directly to them, but 6 months after the verdict, the local government autonomy is yet to take effect, as governors have continued to allegedly frustrate the process. Secretary General of that Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Mohammed Abubakar, expressed concern over the delay in the implementation of autonomy for local government councils. The National Assembly Joint Committee on Solid Minerals have rejected the budget estimated of the Ministry of Solid Minerals. The committee said that the estimates presented were greatly inadequate. The chairman of the Joint Committee, Senator Ekong Sampson, stated this after the minister, Dele Alake, presented the ministry's 2025 budget estimated before the committee. Kingmakers in Oyo Town, Oyo State, have protested the appointment of Prince Abimbola Owode as the new Alofin of Oyo by Governor Seyi Makinde. Awode's appointment was announced on Friday in a statement by the state's Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dotun Oyelade, sparking controversy within traditional cycles. Oyelade said after extensive consultation and traditional divinations by the Oyo Messi, the Oyo Kingmaker Owo Ade was recommended as the new Alafin of Oyo and subsequently approved by Governor Makinde. The federal government and the United States government have signed an agreement for the repatriation of not less than $52.88 million in forfeiture corruption proceeds for Nigeria. Acting spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimebi Ebinfa, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja, stating that the agreement was signed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi San and the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Richard Mills Jr. He further stated that the signing of the agreement marked significant shared investment in Nigeria's development and strengthened partnership between the nations. In a fresh unprovoked attack by the notorious Lakurawa armed group, 2 immigration officers and 1 civilian were killed in Kangiwa local government area of Kebbi State. The immigration officers were at a spot where border monitoring equipment would be installed when the Lakurawa gunmen struck. The Lagos State Police Command has arrested a 21-year-old U.S. returnee, David Shegun, and 2 others for allegedly killing an Uber driver in the Obalende area of Lagos State. The Commissioner of Police, Ishola Olariwanju, disclosed this while parading the suspect at the State Command headquarters on Saturday. You are watching the live broadcast of Midday News on Global Television, coming to you from the nation's capital, Abuja. When Midday News return, 21 states to generate $2.1 trillion from value-added tax. We shall bring you those details as well as of and stories right after the break. Please stay with us. In business, amid the ongoing controversy surrounding the proposed tax reform bills by the current administration, the federal government and 21 out of the 36 states in the federation have rejected and projected a combined value-added tax revenue of 2.5 trillion naira for 2025 in their respective budget estimates. This projection excludes additional funds that may accrue from the implementation of the continuous tax reform bills. VAT, a consumption tax on goods and services, is levied at each stage of the supply chain where value is added. VAT revenue collected under the current administration increased by 549 billion naira within 6 months. As the federal government approves the first telecom tariff hike in over a decade, Nigerians are demanding that the mobile network operators justify the increase by delivering substantial improvements in service quality. For years, subscribers have called for better network quality, citing frequent call drops and slow data speed. They argue that if telecom companies are to benefit from higher tariff, consumers should experience a tangible improvement in the services that they are paying for. The Central Bank of Nigeria, that is CBN, says the introduction of 2 new financial products designed to serve Nigerians living abroad. The non-resident Nigerian ordinary account and the non-resident Nigerian investment account were unveiled in a circular dated January 10, 2025, issued by the Trade and Exchange Department of the Apex Bank. The CBN, in a document signed by the Acting Director of the Trade and Exchange, Dr. W.J. Kanwa, says the accounts are aimed to streamline remittances, encourage investments, and foster financial inclusion among Nigerians in the diaspora. And on the foreign scene, South Korea suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol will not attend the first hearing of his impeachment trial next week because of safety concerns. Yoon has been holed up in the presidential residence and protected by an elite guard force since being suspected and impeached last month following a short-lived declaration of martial law that plunged the country into political chaos. The Constitutional Court has scheduled 5 trial dates spanning January 14th to February 4th, which will proceed in absence if he does not attend. Californians have demanded to know who is at fault for the vast devastation caused by the raging Los Angeles wildfires, as a strict curfew went into force to prevent looting and lawlessness. At least 11 people died as flames ripped through a neighborhood and razed thousands of homes in a disaster that the U.S. President Joe Biden likened to a war scene. While Angeles grappled with the heart-rending ruin, anger has risen over official preparedness and reports, particularly for a series of forced evacuation alarms and after hydrant ran dry as firefighters battled the initial blaze. South Korea's transport ministry has said the black boxes holding the flight data and cockpit voices recorder for the crashed Jeju Air flight that left 179 people dead stopped recording 4 minutes before the disaster. The Boeing 737-800 was flying from Thailand to Muan South Korea on December 29, carrying 181 passengers and crew when it barely landed at the Muan airport and exploded in a fireball after slamming into a concrete barrier. The Transport Ministry said in a statement referring to the two recording devices that the analysis revealed that both the CVR and FDR data were not recorded during the 4 minutes leading up to the aircraft's collision with the Kolisa. The United States has introduced a new round of sanctions targeting over 400 entitled connected to Russia's energy sector, prompting strong approval from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky, via his ex, described the sanction as a significant step in disrupting Russia's financial and logistic network that support its ongoing war efforts. The measures aim to impact key areas of Russia's energy industry, including producers, insurance companies, service providers, logistic facilities, and a fleet of 184 shadow tankers. Now in sports, Olympic champions Zheng Qinwen overcame a sluggish start to blast into the Australian Open second round, ahead of Aryna Sabalenka beginning her quest for a historic third consecutive crown. Fifth seed Zheng, last year losing finalists, had the honor of playing the first point on center court at the opening Grand Slam of the season against Romania's 110th ranked Anca Todoni. Zheng had 3 set points on serve at 4-3 in the first set, but allowed Todoni to come roaring back before closing her down in a tea break, then racing through the second set. The FA Cup continued this Sunday with exciting lineup of fixtures across England. The action began at 1 p.m. with Hull City hosting Doncaster Rovers at the MKM Stadium. At 1:30, Premier League side Tottenham Hotspur travelled to the Land Group to face Turnworth. Later, highly anticipated clash sees Arsenal take on Manchester United at the Emirates Stadium in London, kicking off at 4 p.m. At the same time, Crystal Palace will host Stockport Country at Selhurst Park. Ipswich Town faces Bristol Rovers at Bournemouth Road, and Newcastle United battles Bromley at St James Park. And that's it on Global Television Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on StarTimes channel 276, and free to air on Ninkum sites. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global Television NG. I am Ramsey Enoch. Thank you for watching.